You know, it's so funny how God works. God will definitely send you reinforcements when you are struggling in an area. A lot of times we don't realize that God has sent that reinforcement or that army to help us is because we are so involved in the chaos. We're so involved in the negative part of what's going on in our lives, that storm. We're so um, scared that the snow is falling so hard, how or so much. How am I going to get out of this? The rain is coming down so hard. How am I going to get out of this? The hail is hitting me so hard. How am I going to get out of this? So many times when God sends those reinforcements or that army, we don't even realize it. That's why it's so important, everybody, to tap in with yourself and remain open to receive what it is that God is trying to show us or teach us, especially in those moments where we are really, really struggling, or in those areas where we are really, really struggling and we don't have the answer right then and there. We don't know exactly what it's going to take to get ourselves, or at least take cover in the storm, so that when the storm subsides, we're still standing. Or even if we fall during the storm, we look around and we see that, wow, like, I'm still here. I It's so funny. So Google, I don't know if you all subscribe to Google, but Google does this thing where it sends me notifications about places and or pictures. It will highlight pictures of places or things that I have done on this day at the, it could be years ago. I have pictures that show up from 2009. That's how long I've been doing this thing. So I just saw Google just sent me a notification, and I clicked on the pictures, and it showed pictures of when I had first gotten to Chicago. Now, if you don't know, July 25th would have been 5 years of me physically being in Chicago. I still call myself a Chicagoan, because I still have ties in Chicago. But this picture showed up, and it reminded me of the emotions that I was feeling when I had gotten to Chicago, and what I was going through and where my mindset was. Um, it was definitely a trying time for me, because I was dealing with some mental things. I was struggling in areas of, addiction. That's a struggle that many of us face for the rest of our lives. If you have ever been addicted to anything, that is something that you may have to struggle with for the rest of your life. And I was just dealing with a lot. I was not used to my kids not being with me. I am a mom. I will always be a mom. I feel like that is one of my primary duties. So me not having my kids, like none of my kids were with me at this time when I first got to Chicago. Thank God for my nephew and my little nephew Kendrick. He was definitely a shining star in my life. He helped fill that void that I was missing as far as my kids. So that's why just seeing him growing up now and then is just amazing. My older nephew is doing a fantabulous job at raising him. But it reminded me of the emotions and what I was going through. And I sent the pictures to my nephew, and he said, yeah, like at that time, I sent the pictures to him, and I said, this is really, it was an amazing place that I was in, because it was a place where I had hope. And I remember standing outside at the train tracks, because it was a picture of train tracks. And I'm going to share that to my stories on Instagram. And if I can, I'll share it to the YouTube shorts to show you all the pictures that I was looking at. But I remember And just to pause for a minute, just to give some context to the pictures, I am an earth sign. I am very much an earth sign. I am a nature person. I don't like the bugs and stuff, but I do love being out amongst nature, staring at the sky and stuff like that. That's just one of my things. So many times you'll see that I'll take pictures of the sky or, different things that's going on. And these particular pictures show pictures of the sky. I will always look up at the sky and look for, even on a cloudy day, I'm always looking for some glimmer of light, because that's how I feel that life is. Like even when it's storming and it's cloudy in our lives, you still look up and find some glimmer of hope. And because I was dealing with a lot, I was dealing with a lot, y'all, and I'll talk about it at the speaking engagement on October 21st, but I was dealing with a lot, and these pictures reminded me of that. And there was this one billboard across the street, across the tracks. It was double tracks, the ones that were going west and the ones that were going into the city. And I would in the morning time, I would be on the ones that's going into the city, and across the street, across the rail tracks, I keep saying across the street, but across the rail tracks was a billboard that I would look at every morning, and it said, "It's personal. It's personal." And I felt that deeply, because I felt that what I was going through in that moment, what I was experiencing, the transformation that needed to happen, the mindset change that needed to happen, that reset, it was personal. Like this was the very first time, everybody, and keep in mind, I was pregnant at 16 years old. I was a mom at 17 years old. So my entire adult life was primarily focused on making sure that my kids were okay. Like that was my primary focus, that and being a wife. I just, just being the matriarch in that family, that was my primary focus. I never, ever took the time out to ask myself or even dive into what it is that I want. Like that wasn't a thing. I didn't even know that I should care, if that makes sense to any of you. So when I would see that post every single morning at 5 days a week, I saw that post, "It's personal." It got deep into my cells, and I would say to myself, you know what? This thing really is personal. Like this thing that I'm doing really is personal. And I sent the picture to my nephew, and I said that, and just sharing a little bit with you, because I love my family. I really, really love my support system. I have a very fantastic support system that I'm very grateful for. And he said, yeah, it's because you were making a way out of no way. Because you were making a way out of no way. Sometimes we don't see a way out of the struggle. Sometimes we don't see a way out of the storm, right? Sometimes we don't see a way out of the mess that many of us have created ourselves, because self-sabotage is real. Okay, we like to blame it on other people. We like to blame it on outside forces. But if we are being honest with ourselves, a lot of times the chaos, the negativity that's in our lives is because we keep inviting it. We keep inviting that mess because we don't know any better, or we refuse to look at it for what it is, or we are inviting the distraction because we don't want to focus on the mess that we call our lives. We don't want to focus on ourselves, the things that we need to heal from, the things that we need to change in our lives. We don't want to focus on that. So we welcome the distractions. We welcome the chaos, because it's always been like this, right? This chaos is familiar to me, because it was the chaos I saw in my home. It was the chaos that I saw growing up. So this is something that I'm used to. Like, what do you mean that this is not the way that it should be? This is what it's always been like this. I've always had this experience, right? So we welcome that. We are unfamiliar with anything else, so we are not as welcoming to the change that needs to happen. We are not as welcoming to the mindset that needs to be reset. We are not as welcoming to other ideologies and opinions. We are not as welcoming, because that means something has to change within us. That means that this has to change. And if this change, that means that we are going to start looking at life much differently. And when you begin to evolve and you begin to look at life much differently, many times, many times, things are going to start falling off. You hear those songs about the chains are breaking, the chains are breaking. Many times, y'all, as the chains are breaking, we are still trying to hold on to them because we think that it's a part of our life. Is that you? Did that just resonate with you? Many times, as the chains are breaking, we are still trying to hold on to those chains, y'all. Okay, I know this hit somebody. I know this hit somebody. Because we feel as if those chains are a part of our life. We feel like we cannot become anything other than what we have always been. We feel like we can't not be with that person. We feel that we can't not have that substance. We feel like we can't not live in that place. We feel like we can't not leave this job. We feel like we can't not be around that person, that family member, that friendship, that situationship, that relationship. Because we believe that it's a part of who we are. We believe that it's a part of our DNA makeup, and we are supposed to always have it. Listen, y'all, we are talking heavy this week. We are talking heavy this week because what I have found is that, again, the enemy, most of the time, is within. When you are really ready to paint your picture, that mural, that big, beautiful mural, paint the sky as beautiful as a beautiful day outside, when you are really ready for that, when you are really ready to write your own newspaper article, when you are really ready to write your biography, your story, okay? When you are really, really ready, then this message will definitely resonate with you. We are talking deep this week. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if this message resonated with you below. Send me a message. Even if you are not ready to share out in the public, send me a message. Say, you know what, that really resonated with me. Like, I felt that. Like, I understand what it is that you are talking about, because this is my life right now. I want to hear. And let me know also where you are checking in from. If you are new to this channel, if you are new to the things of Vet Green, let me know where you are checking in from. I would love to hear from you. And also, please, 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 please make sure you subscribe to my channel and tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, okay? I love y'all. Long life. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day on purpose. On purpose. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, subscribe now. And hey, leave me a message. I want to know if this resonated with you. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day on purpose.